The massive screen at the United Nations Emergency Control Center showed what everyone had feared for decades: proof of alien life. But this wasn't the friendly first contact humanity had hoped for. The alien ships appeared first as small dots near Jupiter's orbit. Within hours, their numbers grew until they filled half the monitoring screens. Black, angular vessels stretched across space like a swarm of metal locusts, each one larger than Earth's biggest cities. Inside the control center, General Robert Wilson stood with his hands clasped behind his back, watching the feed from deep space telescopes. His weathered face showed no emotion, but his knuckles were white from gripping his hands too tightly. "How many?" he asked the young technician at the main console. "Over 3,000 ships, sir. And more keeping coming through what appears to be some kind of space gate near Jupiter." The room fell silent as a new alert flashed across the screens. "Sir, we're receiving a transmission. It's being broadcast on all frequencies, in every language." The message was simple and direct. Asterisk to the governing bodies of Earth. Asterisk. Asterisk. You are hereby notified that your solar system falls within the boundaries of the Galactic Empire. Your planet has been scheduled for immediate integration. Resistance is not only futile but punishable by planetary sanctions. You have 6 Earth hours to surrender your governing authority. Asterisk. Asterisk. The Empire awaits your compliance. Asterisk. General Wilson's first call was to the President. Within 30 minutes, emergency protocols brought world leaders together in an unprecedented virtual meeting. For the first time in human history, old enemies sat side by side on screens, facing a threat greater than their differences. As they debated humanity's response, a second message arrived. This one made their blood run cold. Asterisk. Our scans indicate your species possesses unique genetic markers. Your population will be relocated to Imperial processing centers. Those showing desired traits will serve the Empire's biological advancement program. This is non-negotiable. Asterisk. In Washington, D.C., Dr. Linda Hayes, the world's leading genetic researcher, reviewed the scan data the aliens had carelessly attached to their message. Her hands trembled as she explained to the Emergency Council what she found. "They're right about our genetics being unique, but not in the way they think," she said. "Our DNA shows signs of ancient engineering. We're not just random evolution. Someone modified our ancestors, gave us something special, something the Empire wants." The news spread quickly through secure channels. Humanity had always wondered if they were alone in the universe. Now they knew they weren't, but they also learned they might be more important than anyone had imagined. In orbit, the International Space Station crew reported strange energy readings from the alien fleet. The ships were positioning themselves in a grid pattern around Earth, preparing for what looked like a mass transportation operation. But humanity had one card left to play. Deep beneath the Rocky Mountains, in a facility that officially didn't exist, General Wilson input his codes into an ancient computer system. Across the globe, other military leaders did the same. "Send the signal," he ordered. Around the world, hidden bunkers burst to life. Secret preparations, made decades ago by people who had somehow known this day would come, began to activate. In orbit, thousands of defunct satellites suddenly powered up, their innocent-looking communications arrays transforming into something else entirely. The aliens noticed. A third message arrived. Asterisk. Unauthorized planetary defense systems detected. This violation of Imperial law will result in immediate disciplinary action. Prepare for asterisk. The message cut off mid-sentence. The Empire's scan beams had hit something they hadn't expected, a planetary shield that hadn't existed minutes before. In the UN Control Center, General Wilson allowed himself a small smile. "Send our response," he ordered. The message was brief, broadcast on the Empire's own frequencies in every language they had used. Asterisk to the Galactic Empire. Asterisk. Asterisk. Earth has declared itself a sovereign planet. We neither recognize nor accept your authority. Our response to your demands is simple. Asterisk. Asterisk. No entry asterisk. Asterisk, any attempt to violate Earth's sovereignty will be met with force asterisk. As the message went out, General Wilson looked at the faces around him. For the first time in history, humanity stood truly united. They had 6 hours until the Empire's deadline, but Earth's preparations had begun long ago. The real question was who had helped their ancestors prepare, and why. Deep under the Swiss Alps, in a facility carved into the mountain itself, Dr. James Miller walked quickly through steel corridors. Behind him, screens showed the Imperial fleets still testing Earth's mysterious shield with their weapons. Each blast lit up the defensive barrier like ripples in a pond, but nothing got through. "How long will it hold?" asked General Wilson, who had flown in from the UN meeting an hour ago. His boots echoed on the metal floor as he struggled to keep up with the scientist's pace. "Forever," Dr. Miller answered without looking back, "or at least until the sun burns out." He stopped at a massive door marked Project Aegis, Command Center, and pressed his hand against a scanner. "What we're about to show you has been in development for over 50 years. The door opened to reveal a circular room filled with holographic displays. Scientists from every nation worked at different stations, monitoring the shield's performance. At the center stood a glowing blue column that pulsed with each impact from the Empire's weapons. "Welcome to humanity's greatest secret," Dr. Miller said, finally turning to face the general. "Project Aegis isn't just a shield. It's a complete defensive system that turns Earth's entire magnetic field into a weapon." On the main screen, they watched as another Imperial blast hit the shield. The energy didn't just stop. It was absorbed and redirected back into the shield's power systems. "Those satellites aren't satellites at all," Dr. Miller explained. "They're nodes in a planet-wide network. Each one captures and amplifies Earth's natural magnetic field. The more energy the Empire throws at us, the stronger our shield becomes." The general stared at the displays showing power readings. "How did we build this without anyone knowing?" "We hid it in plain sight," a new voice said. Dr. Rebecca Torres, the project's co-director, stepped forward. Every time a country launched a communications satellite or weather monitoring system, they were actually adding to the shield network. The whole world worked together without even knowing it. An alarm sounded. On the main screen, they watched as the Empire tried a new tactic. A massive ship, bigger than all the others, moved into position. Its front split open like a blooming flower, revealing what looked like a giant cannon. "Energy spike detected," one of the technicians shouted. "They're charging some kind of magnetic pulse weapon." Dr. Miller smiled. "Perfect. Everyone, watch this." The Imperial ship fired. A beam of pure blue energy, bright enough to be seen from Earth's surface in broad daylight, struck the shield. For a moment, the barrier flickered. But instead of breaking through, the energy beam began to twist. The shield wasn't just stopping it. It was capturing it, redirecting it through the satellite network in a complex dance of light and power. "Now," Dr. Miller said calmly, "we show them why you don't attack a planet with magnetic weapons when that planet has the strongest magnetic field in its solar system." He pressed a sequence of buttons on the central console. The captured energy suddenly shot back along the same path, amplified by Earth's entire magnetic field. The Imperial ship's own weapon became its undoing. The massive vessel's shields overloaded in seconds. Systems shut down across its hull, and it began to drift helplessly in space. The other ships quickly moved to pull it back, retreating to a safer distance. "That was just a warning shot," Dr. Torres explained to the stunned general. "We could have destroyed it completely." General Wilson watched as the Imperial fleet regrouped, clearly reassessing their strategy. "How long have we had this capability?" "The first nodes went up in the 1960s, disguised as early communications satellites," Dr. Miller said. "Every space-capable nation has been adding to it ever since, following plans we found in ancient data caches around the world. Someone left us instructions, General. Very detailed instructions." Before Wilson could respond, a new alert sounded. The Empire was sending another message. Asterisk, your defensive capabilities exceed our initial assessment. The Imperial High Command requests a diplomatic meeting to discuss terms. Asterisk. Dr. Miller looked at General Wilson. Should we tell them this is just our first line of defense? The general shook his head. No. Let them worry about what else we might have hidden. Send our response. Any diplomatic meetings will be held on Earth, under our shield. They want to talk. They'll have to do it on our terms. As the message went out, the Empire's ships maintained their new respectful distance. For the first time in Imperial history, a planet had not only said no, it had proved it could enforce that no. Earth's first victory was complete, but everyone in that mountain control room knew this was just the beginning. Admiral Marcus Stone watched the Imperial diplomatic shuttle approach Earth through the reinforced windows of Orbital Defense Station 1. The station, hidden inside what looked like a normal space debris collection facility, had only revealed its true nature hours ago. "They're scanning us," reported Lieutenant Adam Parker from his monitoring station. "Should we block their scans?" "Let them look," Admiral Stone said. Time they learned what they're dealing with. The Imperial shuttle was massive compared to Earth's ships, decorated with golden markings that caught the sunlight. It carried the Empire's chief negotiator and a small crew, all carefully screened by Earth's new defense systems. The shuttle docked with a soft thud. As the airlock cycled, Admiral Stone straightened his uniform and prepared to meet humanity's first official alien visitors. The Imperial negotiator was tall, humanoid but with silvery skin that seemed to shimmer. His eyes were entirely black, and he moved with the smooth confidence of someone used to getting his way. "I am High Commander Vale of the Imperial Diplomatic Court," he announced. "I must protest being forced to come here rather than having you come to our command ship." Admiral Stone smiled. "On Earth, we have a saying, if you want to dance, you go to the dance floor. Welcome to our dance floor." The meeting room was deliberately impressive. One wall was a window looking down at Earth. Another showed real-time displays of the planetary shield network, and the third displayed a map of human military installations suddenly appearing all over the solar system. "Impossible," Vale said, looking at the displays. "Our scans showed your species was confined to one planet, with minimal space presence." "We're good at hiding things," Admiral Stone replied. "Like these." He pressed a button. Across the solar system, hundreds of asteroids suddenly changed course. Their rocky surfaces split open, revealing fully armed battle stations and shipyards that had been building in secret for decades. "That's not even half of what we have," Stone continued. "We've been preparing for something like this since we found the first warning tablets in ancient ruins. The same ruins that told us how to build the shield." Vale's silver skin paled slightly. "The precursor sites. You've accessed precursor technology. Is that what you call them? We just knew someone left us a message. They will come. Be ready." Stone leaned forward. "Now let's discuss your Empire's intentions." Vale composed himself. "The Empire spans 10,000 systems. We cannot allow a single planet to defy us. Others would follow your example." "Others already are," Stone replied, activating another display. It showed transmissions from dozens of worlds, all asking how Earth had resisted. "Your attack on us was broadcast across the galaxy. So was our defense. The Empire will blockade your system," Vale threatened. "No trade, no travel, nothing in or out." Admiral Stone's smile grew wider. "Look behind you." Vale turned. Through the window, he could see Earth's moon. As they watched, something massive broke through the lunar surface. A ship larger than anything the Empire had brought. "We call it the Guardian," Stone said. "First of a new fleet, built inside the moon itself, using those precursor plans you mentioned. We got more shipyards inside Mercury, Mars, and several asteroids. You can't blockade a system that's already self-sufficient." Vale's composure cracked. "What are your terms?" Stone handed him a tablet. Earth joins no empire. Our solar system is recognized as independent territory. Any species seeking asylum here will be protected. And you will share information about these precursors who helped us prepare for you. The Emperor will never agree, Vale started to say, but stopped as another alarm sounded. The Guardian had powered up its main drive, and the sensors built into its hull were revealing capabilities that made the Imperial ships look primitive. The Emperor doesn't have to agree, Stone said calmly. But we both know your ships can't beat our shield, and now you've seen just one of our ships. How do you think this ends if you choose to fight? Vale looked at the displays again. The shield network, the hidden bases, the Guardian ship, and the dozens of worlds already asking Earth for help. For the first time in his career, he sent a message to the Empire recommending full acceptance of a planet's terms. In the weeks that followed, Earth's message spread across the galaxy. A single world had stood up to the Empire. The age of automatic compliance was over, but as Admiral Stone watched more Imperial ships arrive at the edges of the solar system, he knew the real fight was just beginning. Humanity had revealed itself as a power in the galaxy. Now they had to prove they deserved that power. Dr. Anna Collins stared at her computer screen in the basement of London's Advanced Physics Center. Something wasn't right with the shield's energy readings. The patterns were too perfect, too regular. After 20 years of studying Earth's magnetic field, she knew natural energy never flowed that smoothly. "Computer, show me Sector 7, grid overlay," she commanded. The screen split into hundreds of tiny squares, each showing energy flow through a different part of the shield. There, in the upper atmosphere over the Pacific Ocean, a series of perfect hexagons appeared in the energy pattern. She reached for her phone, but before she could make the call, her screen went black. Then, letter by letter, a message typed itself. Asterisk clever human. Too clever. Asterisk. The lights in her lab switched off. In the darkness, she heard the door lock click. Dr. Collins smiled and pressed a button under her desk. "No," she said to the empty room. "You're not clever enough." The emergency lights flashed on, but they weren't normal lights. Special frequencies filled the room, and suddenly 3 shimming figures appeared, their cloaking technology disrupted by the targeted radiation. Security teams burst through both doors. The Imperial infiltrators found themselves surrounded, their advanced technology useless against defenses designed specifically to counter it. "How?" one of them demanded as they were captured. "Our quantum infiltration technology is perfect." "We've been studying you for longer than you think," Dr. Collins said, watching as the security teams used specialized handcuffs on the infiltrators. "Those tablets that taught us about the shield. They also warned us about your infiltration methods." Across the globe, similar scenes played out. The Empire's attempt at mass infiltration failed as hidden sensors detected their agents everywhere they went. Earth's defenders had prepared for this too. In Washington, General Wilson received the reports with grim satisfaction. All infiltration teams captured. He announced to the Emergency Council, 37 attempts worldwide, all failed. But Dr. Collins wasn't celebrating. She'd found something in the energy patterns that worried her more than spies. "General," she interrupted the meeting. "They weren't just trying to infiltrate our facilities. They were mapping our shield network. Look at these patterns." The main screen showed the shield grid. Everywhere the Imperial agents had appeared, they'd created tiny, perfect disruptions in the energy flow. Together, these disruptions formed a larger pattern. "They're trying to create a resonance cascade," Dr. Collins explained. "If they hit these points with enough energy at exactly the right frequency, they could collapse the entire shield." General Wilson's face hardened. "How long do we have?" "The Empire's fleet is already moving into position," reported Admiral Stone from the orbital station. "They're placing ships at each disruption point. Energy readings are climbing." Dr. Collins studied the patterns again, then suddenly laughed. The council members stared at her. "Sorry," she said, "but we just got very lucky. The Empire doesn't understand what they're dealing with. They think our shield is technology, something they can break. They don't realize it's alive. Alive? General Wilson asked. The precursors didn't just give us technology, she explained. They gave us a way to wake up Earth's natural defenses. Our planet's magnetic field isn't just a shield. It's a living system. And it learns. She typed rapidly on her console. Watch this. On the displays, the shield's energy patterns began to shift. The perfect hexagons created by the Imperial disruptions dissolved as the magnetic field adapted, flowing into new, unpredictable patterns. They mapped yesterday's shield, Dr. Collins said with satisfaction. But tomorrow's shield will be completely different. The more they attack it, the more it evolves. In space, the Imperial ships fired their resonance weapons. But instead of collapsing, the shield absorbed the energy and grew stronger. New patterns formed, more complex than before, spreading across the globe like a living web. Send word to the Empire, General Wilson ordered. Their infiltration has failed. Their resonance weapons have failed. Ask them if they'd like to try something else, or if they're ready to talk seriously about recognizing Earth's independence. As the message went out, Dr. Collins watched the shield's patterns continue to change and grow. The precursors hadn't just given humanity a defense system. They'd given Earth a new way to protect itself. And it was still evolving. The Empire would need a new strategy. But so would Earth, because now they knew the Empire's infiltration technologies and tactics. The next round would be even more dangerous. The real question was, what would the Empire try next? Commander Thomas Wells floated in zero gravity aboard the Guardian, watching Earth's first strike fleet emerge from their hidden bases. Like ghostly whales surfacing from an ocean of stars, massive ships rose from beneath the lunar surface, each one powered by technology the Empire thought impossible for humans to possess. Strike Fleet Alpha. Report status. He ordered through the command channel. All 20 ships ready, Commander, came the responses one by one. Each ship carried a crew trained in secret for years, preparing for this moment. The Empire had made its biggest mistake 3 days ago. They had attacked one of Earth's asteroid mining bases, thinking it was just a civilian operation. They didn't know that the base housed hundreds of refugees from other worlds who had sought Earth's protection. Now it was time to show the Empire why that was a mistake. Guardian actual to all ships, Commander Wells broadcast. Operation Breakout begins in 5 minutes. Remember your training. They think humans are primitive. Let's change their minds. The plan was bold. While the Empire focused their forces near Earth, believing the shield was humanity's only defense, the strike fleet would hit their supply lines. But they had a secret weapon, one the Empire would never expect. Dr. Collins, are you ready? Wells asked, turning to where the scientist floated near her specialized console. She nodded, her hands moving across the controls. The living shield technology has been adapted for our ships. They won't be able to lock weapons on us. We'll look like natural magnetic disturbances until it's too late. The fleet moved out, using the moon's magnetic field for cover. As they approached the first Imperial supply line, they saw their targets. Massive cargo ships moving resources from conquered worlds to Imperial production centers. All ships engage stealth systems, Wells ordered. Dr. Collins's modified shield technology worked perfectly. The Imperial cargo ships' sensors slid right over them, their crews never noticing the Earth fleet's approach. On the Guardian's bridge, Wells watched the tactical display as his ships moved into perfect attack positions. Now, he commanded. 20 Earth ships appeared simultaneously, surrounding the Imperial convoy. Before the enemy could react, specially designed magnetic pulses disabled their engines and weapons. The entire Imperial supply fleet was dead in space without a single shot fired. Begin boarding operations, Wells ordered. Remember, we're here to free these ships and their crews, not destroy them. Earth's Marines, trained in zero-gravity combat and equipped with magnetic shield technology in their suits, cut through the Imperial ships' hulls. Inside, they found not just cargo, but slaves. captured crews from other worlds forced to work for the Empire. "Commander," one of the Marine leaders reported, "these people, they've been waiting for someone to fight back. They're asking to join us." Wells smiled. This was exactly what Earth's leaders had hoped for. "Tell them Earth welcomes all who want to be free." But their victory celebration was cut short. A new alert blared through the fleet. "Imperial warships detected." The sensor officer shouted. 3 heavy cruisers just dropped out of faster-than-light travel. Wells didn't panic. They had trained for this. "All ships, formation Delta." "Dr. Collins, show them what else your living shields can do." The Earth fleet formed a circle, their shields linking together just as the Imperial cruisers opened fire. But instead of impacting the shields, the enemy weapons' fire curved away, caught in artificial magnetic fields that sent the energy spiraling into space. "Return fire," Wells ordered. "Non-lethal weapons only. Let's show the galaxy that humans know how to win without unnecessary killing." The battle that followed would be talked about across the galaxy for years. Earth's ships, seemingly immune to Imperial weapons, systematically disabled the cruisers' weapons and engines. When it was over, not a single life had been lost on either side. "Send the message," Wells commanded as his crews secured the last Imperial ship. The broadcast went out on all frequencies. "To all beings enslaved by the Empire, Earth stands with you. We have the technology to fight back, and we're willing to share it. The Empire's time of absolute power is over." As his crews began freeing more slaves and captured crews, Wells received reports of similar uprisings starting across Imperial space. Earth's first victory in space had shown the galaxy something new. Not just the power to fight the Empire, but a better way to win. The real war for freedom was just beginning. And humanity was leading the charge. On the imperial capital world of Nova Prime, High Emperor Daxon watched his empire crumble on 100 different screens. Every hour brought news of another system declaring independence. The spark Earth had lit was becoming a galaxy-wide fire. "My Emperor," his advisor said nervously, "the Centauri systems have just broadcast their declaration of independence. They're using Earth's shield technology." The Emperor's fist crashed down on his golden throne. "Impossible. How are these humans spreading their technology so quickly?" The answer appeared on his main screen. A transmission from Earth. Admiral Stone's face filled the display, calm and confident. "Wondering how we did it?" the Admiral asked. "Look closer at your own communication networks." The Emperor's technical advisors rushed to investigate. What they found shocked them. Hidden in the background noise of the Empire's own data networks was Earth's gift to the galaxy. Complete plans for shield technology, encrypted so only oppressed worlds could access them. "We hid the plans in your own transmissions," Admiral Stone explained. "Every time you broadcast propaganda about your defeats at Earth, you spread the seeds of your own downfall. Ironic, isn't it?" In the Orient sector, an Imperial battle fleet arrived to suppress a rebellion on a mining colony. They found the entire system protected by shields identical to Earth's. Their weapons, designed to overwhelm through brute force, proved useless against the adaptive magnetic defenses. On thousands of worlds, enslaved species began building their own shields. The Empire's strength had always been its absolute control of technology. Now that control was broken. Back on Earth, Dr. Collins worked with scientists from 30 different species, teaching them how to wake up their own planet's magnetic fields. Each world's shield was unique, alive in its own way, but all shared the same basic principle: the power to say no to Empire. "We never planned to fight the Empire directly," she explained to representatives from newly freed worlds. "We just needed to show the galaxy that resistance was possible. You're doing the rest yourselves." In orbit above Earth, the Guardian received transmissions from across the galaxy. Commander Wells and his crew had become legends after their first victory. Now they coordinated with rebel fleets from 100 systems, teaching them Earth's non-lethal combat techniques. The Empire only knows how to rule through fear. Wells told his alien allies. We're showing the galaxy a different way. Every ship we disable without destruction, every life we spare, proves that we're better than them. The Empire tried to respond with overwhelming force. They gathered their largest fleet ever, 10,000 ships, to crush a rebellious sector. But they found themselves facing not just local defenders, but ships from Earth and 30 other freed systems, all using the same shield technology that had first protected humanity. The battle lasted less than an hour. Not a single ship was destroyed, but the entire Imperial fleet was left powerless, drifting in space. In his throne room, Emperor Daxon received the final count. Half his empire had declared independence. The other half was in chaos as more worlds prepared to break away. Earth's revolution had succeeded beyond anyone's expectations. Send the message, he ordered his advisors, his voice heavy with defeat. Tell Earth. Tell them we're ready to negotiate. For real this time. Admiral Stone received the Emperor's message in the UN Control Center. Around him, representatives from Earth and newly freed worlds watched the Empire admit defeat for the first time in its history. They're asking for terms, Stone announced to the cheering crowd. But this time, we're not negotiating alone. Every freed world gets a seat at the table. As celebrations erupted across the galaxy, Dr. Collins made one final discovery in the ancient precursor tablets, a message hidden deeper than all the others. When humanity learns to free others before itself, they will be ready for what comes next. She took this message straight to the UN Council. Whatever the precursors had prepared humanity for, it was bigger than just the Empire. But now, humanity wouldn't face it alone. They had allies across the galaxy, united not by force, but by a shared commitment to freedom. The Empire's day was ending, and something new was about to begin. 1 year after Earth's first no-entry message to the Empire, the Great Hall of the newly established Galactic Council buzzed with activity. Located in Earth's lunar city Armstrong Base, the massive chamber hosted representatives from over 500 formerly Imperial worlds. Admiral Stone, now serving as Earth's primary representative, stood at the central podium. Behind him, through massive windows, Earth glowed blue and peaceful, its living shield occasionally flickering with beautiful auroras. 1 year ago, he began, humanity stood alone against the Empire. Today, we stand together with hundreds of free worlds. But our work isn't finished. The Emperor himself sat in the audience, no longer wearing his crown. The new peace treaty had transformed the Empire into a cooperative alliance, with each world given equal voice. Earth had insisted on one key point. The Emperor would keep his life and freedom, to show that the new order was built on mercy, not revenge. Dr. Collins hurried into the chamber just as Stone was speaking. She carried a tablet containing her latest research on the precursor messages. Her discovery couldn't wait. Admiral, she interrupted, apologizing to the assembly. We've decoded the final precursor warning. Everyone needs to hear this. Stone nodded, and Dr. Collins connected her tablet to the main display. Ancient symbols appeared, translated into all known languages. Asterisk to the people of Earth, and all who stand with them. Asterisk. Asterisk. The Empire was not your true test. It was preparation. From beyond the galaxy's edge, something comes, something that has destroyed civilizations before. We helped prepare Earth because humans have what no other species possessed. The ability to unite others through freedom rather than force. Asterisk. Asterisk. The shield was not just a defense against the Empire. It was practice for what comes next. You have learned to work together. You have learned to fight without destroying. You have learned to free others before yourselves. Asterisk. Asterisk. Now, you are ready. Asterisk. Asterisk. Look to the void between galaxies. They approach, but this time, the galaxy will be ready to face them as one. Asterisk. The chamber erupted in concerned murmurs. Commander Wells, attending via hologram from the Guardian, spoke first. The precursors didn't just help us resist the Empire, he said. They were preparing the entire galaxy to face something bigger. By teaching us to free each other, They made sure we'd be united when the real threat arrives. The former emperor stood. The old empire would have faced this threat with brute force and failed. But this new alliance, built on Earth's principles of freedom and cooperation, perhaps we have a chance. Admiral Stone raised his hands for quiet. We've already proven that technology alone isn't the answer. Our strength comes from working together. The living shields protect us because we learn to protect each other. Whatever's coming, we face it as equals. Dr. Collins brought up new displays showing the galactic barrier. Strange energy readings were already appearing at the edges of their space. We have time to prepare, she said, and we're not starting from zero. The precursors left more than just warnings. In working together to decode their messages, we've already begun building the organization we need to face this threat. Then let's make it official, Stone proposed. Not just a council of free worlds, but a united defense force, built on Earth's principles. Protect the weak, fight only when necessary, and win without destroying. Who stands with us? The chamber filled with raised hands and tentacles and wings, every species showing their support in their own way. The former emperor's hand was among the first to rise. As the vote was recorded, Stone looked out at Earth again. Humanity's first, no entry message to the Empire had started as an act of defiance. It had grown into a revolution that freed half the galaxy. Now it was becoming something even greater, a unity of free peoples preparing to defend all life. Send the message to all worlds, he commanded. The age of empires is over. The age of cooperation begins. Earth started this journey alone, but we'll finish it together. As if in response, Earth's living shield flared brightly, its light reflected in the surfaces of thousands of ships from hundreds of worlds, all working together in space around humanity's home. The galaxy's greatest test was coming, but thanks to humanity's stand against the Empire, they would face it as one people, united in freedom. Earth's no entry had become everyone's stand together.